Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of the Real Black Talk segment, episode 8. So tonight we are going to start with one topic in particularly that I found to be I just put it like this. So y'all know this lady, Shay Johnson, aka I want to say the name is Luanisha Lavania Browning. It's a ghetto name. Anyway, so let me pull her picture up real quick so y'all can see who I'm talking about. This lady right here posed to be Tyree Sampson's cousin. And come to find out, the lady that was down there doing all that hooping, hollering, crying, the family spoke out and said they don't know that woman. They don't know who she is. She was posing as Shay Johnson, but the news outlets have confirmed what her real name was. But not only that, she got fired from her job. She worked at Flash Dancers. For y'all who are down there in, I want to say, I think it's in Orlando, Florida. If y'all ever been to Flash
Flash
Dancers,
dancing. Yeah,
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 Flash Dancers.
I heard of that before.
You been down there, Carlos?
In Texas, not and that was years ago, but yeah, it was one out here at
Is
one
it a
time.
hole in the wall?
Yeah, it's definitely
I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking, like, is it a hole in the wall? Because
yeah, it's a hole in the wall spot. And, it ain't the
it's not
top of the
like a
line.
black. Well, I don't know about black. I ain't never been, but I mean, it's not like a Black Diamonds here in
Well,
Jackson.
I never been to that one, but you got one like here, like out here named I think what is Onyx. That was years ago, but yeah, like you got the upscale ones, but this one here is more like low budget.
And so, okay, so I want to pose this question to you all. How does that make y'all feel to know that, say you lost a family member and you have a woman who just out of the blue wakes up and says, "Well, I'm going to jump on that and I'm going to go down there and say I'm this person's family." And you're down there protesting, whatever you want to call it, marching, saying take the ride down. You got over 1,500 signatures or more probably to get a ride taken down. You were down there taking donations, doing all this stuff, and then for the family to say, "Harper, who this woman?" I mean, like, I honestly feel like that you have to be psychotic. You can't. And then she was crying. I mean, this woman was crying on multiple shoulders. Then had said that she talked to him minutes before he died, saying he was excited about being on the.
So
Some people just love the attention.
I, that's what I
That's
was gonna say.
psychotic. That's not even
Attention.
clout chasing.
Like
Yeah.
attention. But see, for me, I think I'm always gonna be the odd one out here. Because I feel like I think a little bit different. Outside of donations and money, coming up off, people having sympathy for a situation.
Right.
You won't get on here and show love to one of my dad's family members and be protesting. Go, come on, girl.
But
Come
lying
on
though,
down.
Jasmine, you gonna be
I
ready to go
mean,
find that lady, yoke her up, and say, "Don't play on my baby's head top like that."
it would just depend on the way you going about it. Now in this situation, if it was my family member and you know people were negligent in causing my family member's death, and you down here, what I'm saying, petitioning, having people sign petitions and all this stuff, you want people to take the ride down, man, your voice be heard. Okay, yeah, come on. The more the
Now,
merrier.
that's what I said. I get the getting the petitions, cool, but here's the thing now. Now that you done gathered all these signatures and now you done went down here and now the world knows that okay, Shay Johnson wasn't even related. She was down there making a mockery of the situation. My only question is how is the people who own this ride, what is going to be their motive with their attorney? Like, I mean, well, now we just don't. Is it a money thing? Because you know how they are. They're already trying to flip the script, but
Right.
saying
So
he
I'm
was
not
dead.
saying don't address the fact that we got this person over here that is trying to say like we family. I'm just more so looking at it as like, okay, share the love type situation. Now when it comes to that part and the money part, you know, because people go out here and will make fake what's some things.
GoFundMe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
GoFundMe's in
she
the
did
name of
that too,
somebody
but
else.
they took them down. But she did do that.
So yeah, stuff like that. Okay, yeah, okay, what you doing? But when it comes to just sharing the love type situation, oh yeah, I'm cool with that. Now, I want to know her motive.
I
Now we
told
all
you,
could say money,
she's
but I want
psycho.
to, huh?
She's psycho.
No,
That girl
that's
just
not what I want to hear her say. Why she did it? Like sis, I need for you to come out and be like, so my reasoning was XYZ. I just
because
want
she
to know.
worked at Flash Dancer. She probably was looking for retirement.
I mean, we all could say it probably was, but I
One
want you
getting
to
well, it
say,
ain't the fact of that. It's
She
just
was
getting
looking for
wasn't getting the
retirement
money,
because, baby, they
wasn't getting
said that
paid.
is a hood rat strip club, and then it's
Yeah,
called Flash Dancers. You know what I thought of when I heard the name was the movie Flash Dance. Y'all remember the movie Flash Dance? The part where she
yeah.
sat in the chair and pulled the thing in the water.
They're not making much money at that place, so you
No,
know.
they ain't. And
I
then
mean,
some
she looking for a payout, looking for a
to go
payout.
here. How the hell y'all just now find out that? And then y'all hosted a thing. They said they hosted a Bye Bye Candy Red Shay Johnson, whatever your name is. So you mean to tell me you didn't even know her real name? Don't they have to get like strip permits? Last time I checked, you got to get something, a strip permit to work at these strip clubs.
you
I
got a
don't know.
permit to work at the strip club.
No, you
Yeah,
don't need
it's
that.
like
Just
it's
come out the street
some type of thing to
and
be
look.
like, because you technically you're supposed to pay on that money you get. So you have to have, well, if they're ran right now, these hole in the walls, I'm pretty sure your grandma can get up there if she wants to and shake a tail feather like that lady was on that. Who shared that video? She was up there. I mean, she was popping that thing for a hotel. But I was like, girl, we don't want no milk duds. But,
Nah,
but
nah.
I mean, I think the girl it needs some help. I think you need some help if you're gonna go down there and play on the dead. But I also say I don't respect people that play on the dead. And so I'm gonna say this: whatever comes to you behind that, maybe you open the door for that type of energy. You didn't know that boy, and so every time you close your eyes, I want you to see Tyrese Sampson's face to the
But
point where you're scared to go to sleep because you should have never did that. That I mean, that was disgusting.
well,
And
you know what people, money brings all kinds of people
it ain't
from
no amount
every.
of money gonna make like any of y'all can die, and I wouldn't know y'all. I'm not going to go. Well, she was already in Florida. I ain't finna pull up say that was my cousin or my uncle or whatever, and blah blah blah. So yeah, child, you need to. She need Jesus and she need help and she needs to go to jail because at this point, if I was Ben Crumb, I'd be like, okay, bet when we get done with this lawsuit, we're gonna work on the next one. Even though y'all ain't gonna get nothing, but we gonna work on it. So with that being said, let's move to the next topic. So if y'all didn't know, Monique got her apology after all these years from this man here, Lee Daniels.
Lee
He look older
Daniels.
now. If you look at him, he look older.
Yeah,
Uh,
a lot different now.
washed up. He definitely was washed up since the Precious days. That was the last big movie that y'all saw Monique playing, to my awareness, I'm pretty sure. And so, for those who didn't know, she did that movie Precious.
Yeah,
And what happened was she did the movie for $50,000. Now, of course, Lee Daniels made more than $50,000. But after the movie was already shot, they called her up and wanted her to go promote the movie for free. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I don't even go to work for free. I'm not volunteering at my job for free. They wanted her to do that. And she told them, one, she said she wanted to spend time with her family. She had been filming. She wanted to spend time with the family. But then, she also said, okay, well, if you want me to do it, then I need to be accommodated for my time. And they told her no. They basically wanted her to do it for free. So when she refused, long story short, she got blackballed. Tyler Perry and them all marked her as difficult to work with. And as a black woman, just even in the industry, period, you know what that means. When someone labels you as difficult to work with, that makes it hard for your resume because your resume is going to follow you from director to director to director, like everybody knows. So she went on this whole thing of there was a recorded phone call with Tyler Perry, who was admitting and apologizing, and she wanted him to publicly apologize, but he didn't. Well, the thing is, the leaked audio from a couple weeks ago, I had already heard it, I think a year ago. I heard the whole thing, the whole conversation between her husband, her, and Tyler Perry. But long story short, we saw 50 Cent get on Instagram and say he was going to get Monique put back in movies.
Facts. I saw that. I saw that.
A week later, Lee Daniels pops up to Monique and apologizes. I'm saying I want to call this, what angle are you getting at? Because I just don't. I mean, when you was on Empire, Monique was a liar. She's lying. She's lying. She's lying. She's lying. Every last one of them said Monique was a liar. They ain't have time to deal with her mess. They have work to do. But now that Justice Smollett got your show canceled, Empire is dead. It's done. It's over with. What angle are you coming at? I just feel like Monique, be careful. Be careful.
It definitely seemed like a trickery, you know, especially when a person only reached out. They see opportunities. Um, and this right here, what they call that, more so like a person that holds your coattail back up, going back up so they won't fall.
Hmm.
Definitely seems like that type of uh, thing that's taking place, especially when you couldn't, do this beforehand. Now that you see that she's rising back up in her normal state or possibly getting more roles and whatever, I mean, well,
Hmm.
let me latch on. Let me publicly do this, um, and make myself look good. Maybe repair some of those other avenues that I may have severed, somewhere in there. But it's definitely something for her to watch for. I suggest, because she went through a lot. She's been
I,
through a lot.
I agree with that because it did taint her career. I'm curious to see how it's going to turn out. Okay, you got the apology. Is movies getting ready to start, scripts getting ready to be written. I did hear that she was supposed to be replacing, what's that lady's name? Viola, was it Viola Davis? I'm not sure. I have to go back and look. But she's supposed to be replacing a cast member and being on one of these shows. But I did see a couple people in the comments was saying she better be damn good because apparently that's a good show or something. I don't know. I just hope. I wish the best for Monique. I love Monique. I still, she's my top of the list of funny comedians. I would love to see her, like I said, back on the big stages, selling out shows and being able to do like, what's the lady, Amy Schumer. She gets a lot of money from Netflix for her specials, Dave Chappelle. And that was one of the reasons that, she had sued Netflix. And I don't know what's going on with this lawsuit right now, but it's because they were lowballing her pay compared to an Amy Schumer or Dave Chappelle, which technically speaking, Amy Schumer, as corny as she is, she can sell out some shows. White folks love her. So I mean, I don't know. I'm ready to see her back in movies though. Maybe we'll see her on Power. I mean, that would be interesting. If she get on Power, now she gonna have to be like how she was in Precious, like a mean old bitch.
Because I was saying she showed out in the movie Precious. Like, that's
Man,
one I
what?
don't think anybody will forget. And
I
so,
never even thought she could do a role like that. Never.
That ain't no way. She been had
No.
that mouth
Mo
on.
was always making you laugh. She was talking about her
Well,
weight,
it was funny. Some of
calling us
Precious was
skinny
funny. Now
bitches.
it
All
wasn't.
types of stuff.
Some of Precious was. I mean, yeah, you
That
had
part
those crying moments, but
where she
she,
was smoking a cigarette and she
yeah,
was, what was she, down at the bottom of the steps and Precious turns around and what she say, you think you better than me, bitch?
that's dirty, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
She
do
she
y'all
she.
remember when they remade the part of when Precious stole the bucket of chicken? I swear now y'all stereotyping like a motherfucker because she straight snatched that chicken and ran down the street.
Right.
This was funny though, but nah, Precious was a good movie.
You
I
know,
honestly, when I was younger, because Precious came out, I think we was in what, seventh, eighth grade, Jasmine.
I remember going to see Precious when I was pregnant. Well, my first, and that had to be around 2008, 2009 maybe. And
Was
we
it?
went to the actual movie theater. So I mean, I don't know, I can't remember if it was a dollar movie or AMC, but but I remember going to a theater to see it. So I don't think we were that young.
Yeah, I mean, because this was the photo around that time. Because you see, like Monique, she's still
Depends
slightly,
on when it came out. When
and yeah, well, compared to the picture I just showed you, Lee Dan, he old. Now look at him, he look busted up.
he's worried about his career.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, but I don't know. I mean, she posted that on. This is the picture from Monique's Instagram, and she said no caption needed. So she felt it was good enough for her. Me, I'm looking at it sideways, say I'll wait to see what happens. But I mean, it maybe it will work out, and good for her. Good for her to get some more roles, get her career going back on the right track. Because she has been fighting for. I would say that Monique been fighting by herself. Because I ain't seen nobody really come out and cape for her at all, except for her fan base, and the regular people. But as far as those in Hollywood, I didn't see nobody taking her side. So we'll see what happens with it. We will see what happens with it.
Right.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to another topic. And pretty much, we want to know why men who are down low date women. And it's a question that was posed on Facebook. And I have the original post here, so let me pull that up for y'all. And it says, why do guys still marry women when you are sexually attracted to men?
Hmm.
Yeah. And as you can see, it got quite a few comments. But it poses a question. I think it's a fair question.
Yeah, it is. I mean, just looking at it, you know, in itself. Uh, for one, what comes first thing come to my mind is some type of male dignity, to put on that front, to hide it from people that they don't want to know.
Hmm.
Um, it's definitely a struggle because it's like you're battling within yourself, what exactly that you want to be. You can't make your mind up,
Well, we
and
had
so
some
go ahead. I'm
women.
sorry.
Some of the comments that was taken from there is one, it says shame. Shame is why until they accept fully who they are, love themselves in that state, and do the hard work to deal with the shame that the world puts on people, they will continue. Shame or even the threat of being shamed makes people lie, hide, and deceive. I can agree with that sentiment with the whole thing, but then it draws another question. If you're ashamed of who you are, how do you go about the rest of your life? If you're sure that that's a part of you.
Right. And
it-
I tell people this all the time. If you're ashamed, then why do it?
well, yeah,
You
that's
know
that's
that.
probably number one question.
Obviously, that's it's not normal at all. Me myself personally, no, I do not believe in it. Do not agree with it. But everybody have their own minds. They make their own choices. But if you're going to be shamed, why do it? Doesn't make sense.
No.
And it's like especially being from a man's point of view, like you know, once you taking that role, that position
Well, then look at this
for you
comment
got
here. It
yeah.
says fear, titles, positions, and money. I
Hmm.
think when more millennials, Generation Z, and some Generation X folks become the heads of today's church, which will be years later, a lot of this fear of being yourself before God and people will change. I mean, titles, yeah, you do have that. You have you when you're in a certain position, your sexuality, if it is of the same sex, you have to kind of pillow it, right? You can't allow the community to know because again, like if you're, Carlos, you're the head of a Fortune 500 company, right? And then it comes out that you are on the DL, that taints your image as a CEO, right? And then the company will look at it as you're affecting our brand because this got out. You weren't careful.
In
And I
some
think
cases.
more so,
In some
it will
cases.
it will mess up the brand or make you look bad more so because you didn't say it from the beginning, not necessarily because you're on the DL or in the closet or however, no disrespect or whatever to however it's supposed to be said, but
Right.
more so because you just weren't honest from the very beginning. And my thing is where do morals, values, and respect come into play? Because you wouldn't want someone to hurt you in that way, especially if you take it all the way up to marriage and children.
Oh yeah, that's terrible.
Right.
And that comes out later that you were never really sexually attracted to me, you never really liked me in that way, you only saw me as a friend or whatever the situation may be. That is a terrible hurt. Even if we just got married yesterday and I find this out, like marriage is a whole nother ball game. Like the game changes at that point. So
Mhm.
for me, my question is, where does it become common courtesy, decency, and respect? And when do you have that for someone else to be able to say, you know what, I can't go ahead and enter into something like this, knowing that this is how I feel about myself, whether I choose to be open about it or not. I can't drag somebody else through the shame, hurt, and humiliation that's going to come from this when it finally does come out. Because at that point, I've never been through this, but I feel like at that point, you'll have a person questioning life completely at that point.
Especially when you birth children. Because I
Right.
think you could
Yeah.
do something to any woman, right? You have a child with someone who was never attracted to your kind. And then that'll have the woman question, did you just have kids with me to further cover up what you're dealing with? And then the thing is like we have to be careful how we even bring up the LGBTQ community because now like you're on the brinks of being canceled, you're on the brinks of losing your job, you're being hateful or you're homophobic. Everything that goes against, they use that word. It's so you're so quick to be deemed as you're only doing it because of this. No, I just feel like y'all have it so much easier. And that's another topic for another day. But to be honest, it's starting to get to the point the LGBTQ community is getting it to be easier for them. Now, I'm not saying it's stopping them from being killed at a high rate because, again, every time you turn around, there are trans women and men being found dead on the side of the road or has been murdered. And a lot of it, I think, comes from they admitted what they were to the guy that they were trans or they weren't fully trans yet but they were transitioning or they didn't and they later found out, which if you have a sexual relationship with someone and you have not fully transitioned, the guy is going to know that. But what I think it also falls back on, you have to place the blame on that man. Here it is, you're posing as straight, but when when it gets dark, you go out and you're messing with those trans women and men, and then you're out of fear of being sought out, like being called out. Oh, such and such, yeah, they like the same thing, so you kill them for their silence. It is dangerous. Do I think it's right? No, you don't have to agree with a person's sexuality, but do I feel they need to be murdered because of? Absolutely not. And it is a hate crime. If you go out and kill a trans person, right? They told you they didn't. One, you shouldn't have been so quick to go get into bed with them because that would probably gave you time to figure out what they were. Two, there are certain cues that you can look for if you're trying to know. Like I tell people down there in Atlanta, you at the strip club, look for stuff. Like don't be staring in their area, but look
But
at they shoulder, things like that. But
that's
some of them they know and they
that's
don't
a
care.
that's a hard thing to do, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I was in Atlanta back in some years ago,
Is this a
and
confession?
being in Atlanta, I didn't. No, I'm a no. I'm a no.
I'm playing. I'm
It just
playing.
I can pick up and all that. But here's the deal. But being in Atlanta now, there were men that had their stuff tucked, had every hair plucked, no flaw. Um, Probably look better than a lot of women are walking around right now. And
Some of them
you
did.
will never know unless you have to go and literally ask for this person birth certificate or something because they go just that far. And so what I'm saying is that yeah, no, I don't agree that no one should implement or seek violence on anyone. But my
Right.
point is the foolery and the trickery is where the problem is at because you're being something that you're not, which
Exactly.
will put you in a line of fire if you're not honest with that person, giving that person a choice to make a decision they want to deal with you, not after the fact. So it don't be just I think that they go all the way out you know to seek to hurt them, but it's more so a reaction to hearing this truth. And us as men, again, we fight for that male dignity. In Atlanta, it was just so much trickery, and that I noticed that went on. And when I seen that, it put my alert up from that point to watch everything. And so it varies, and again, I don't promote violence, I don't promote hate, but I just think in the moment, in the heat of passion, in any situation, whether it's male or female, you never know how you're gonna react. So it's so important that people just be honest about what you got going. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you identify yourself as this, but you need to make sure that that other person knows that's your true identity. Even with the man that marries a woman, let
Mhm.
her know because you're bringing those things back home with you. You're invading that with that. So it's just important that people be honest about who they are.
So, do you feel like it makes it worse when they procreate with a woman? Like as a man, and you're holding a secret from
Yeah,
your partner,
absolutely,
that's your
because that
wife.
that can mess up your family. They can, I mean, say if you got a son and this is going on, I mean, family destroyed because here you are, involved with a whole, with the same, you know, gender or
That and
whatnot, and then the woman don't know.
that and your children want to know, like, did you really love me? Like, was this all just a front to say that you had children, but you really could care less about me? And some people might be able to say, oh, well, you'll be able to tell once the child is born and how they interact with their children. Not always so.
Be able to
Like,
tell what that they are.
that they like their children or that they care for their children. Because I'm looking more so of the emotional support for the child. If this isn't what you really wanted and it was something you did to keep up the facade, it's going to show behind closed doors that you didn't really want that kid. You know what I'm saying? So then that child is like, if they find out, wait a minute, I was just all part of the front. This wasn't a situation where you actually cared enough or you wanted me. That comes with a whole nother set of problems. Again,
Oh, no,
not
so
my situation, but I can imagine that even with two people that wanted to be together and said they wanted to have children, and
Mhm.
the baby comes, they find themselves in the same type of situation when it comes to a child wanting to feel that they actually have a sense of belonging and are loved by their parents wholeheartedly. um, like you were saying, Carlos, and I agree, you have to just be honest. And if you feel like, I feel like, if you feel like the person that you're going to tell is not going to agree, that is not a person you need to be dealing with.
right,
So let me pose this last question before we close out.
definitely
So
don't
we all
justify.
seen the situation with Bruce Jenner and transitioning into a woman from straight out of a marriage. He went into transitioning to a woman, and he birthed four. Was it four? Yes, he had two children, which was
What?
Kylie and Kendall.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, Kylie and Kendall. But remember,
You
he
know, I
had
said after the fact.
Brody.
Right.
Brody is oldest children. He had two other sons, but they were from a previous marriage. Because remember, him and Chris, that was their second marriage, both for them. So with him coming out, and remember they did this whole I don't think it was a documentary. I think it was a part of yeah, I think it was. It was with Caitlyn, because that's her name now. And the kids were, each had a part where they were saying, I want to say it was Kendall said she got up in the middle of the night to get a drink of water. It's always, I was thirsty. And then you go downstairs and see, I don't know what that is about that. Everybody thirsty when they uncover the truth of what's going on in the house. And and she said she come down and he's prancing around in the dress. And she got scared and just went back upstairs and went to sleep. Now, that might be so in a white household, but I'm going to just keep it real, okay? If I woke up, I don't care if I'm 6, and I come downstairs, or in this case, it would have been upstairs, to get a drink of water, and I would have saw my daddy in a dress, in my mama dress, or well, it had to be my mama dress because my siblings were small, but whoever's dress it was. You over there, I'm first of all, I ain't gonna run back upstairs or downstairs, wherever I was. I'm gonna come around the corner, but we come back, we kind of, what you doing? And we stand there and wait till that we see. I want you to see you, because I want to see your reaction. I wasn't buying that. I'm not buying that you've been holding. I mean, I don't know.
It's
I don't
bull.
know.
I mean, I don't
What
mean to
I
say
meant
it's
to get
bullshit
back
though.
on track was, do you think that because they still call him dad, because that's their father, even though his name is Caitlyn, I've
I
seen it
mean,
on.
that ain't as much like right.
Do you
I mean,
feel like their father daughter bond is still as strong as it was before he turned into Caitlyn?
no, no, because it would forever taint that relationship.
They
Because
said they were okay with it. They act
I
like
mean, for the
they.
cameras, yeah, we all okay.
That is true.
The
I haven't
money,
seen Caitlyn on
this
an
is
episode
all for the
of
money, but that
Keeping Up
stuff
with
is crushing them.
Kardashians since
It's
I want
crushing
to
them
say
because
something.
you got a mother. Why would I want 2 mothers? Oh, I got a grandmother. Where's my father?
He's bad
With this?
to
But
them.
I know, but where's my? Get it for the cameras. Well, I'm saying you asked the question. What the image? You're my father, so that takes away. Like, I want to talk to my father when it comes to even comes dealing with a man. I'm not coming to you to talk to you about a woman. You're a woman now. Like you've been holding this in. Like, come on, man. That brings confusion. You know what I'm saying? It tears that individual down because whatever little male dignity, whatever firmness or male influence that was there has been destroyed because of that. Because now you want to be like me or be like my, like mom. That takes away that male influence, that male role in the household. I
But if
mean,
you think
and
of the
then you got
Kardashians,
children. Then what you
though,
gonna say?
there
This
was
is your
never
grandmother?
masculine energy. If the women ran that family, it didn't matter what. Maybe that's why Robert and them got divorced. I don't know. But what I know, when Bruce was there, like, you ever watched the show, like beforehand, before it just got that, there was never no masculine energy. The women ran the household. They always do. They overpower every man that comes in their life. The women make the decisions, and you either gonna get in line or get left behind and get pushed out.
And that's a
But
house divided.
yeah, it is. But that's another topic for another day. So unfortunately,
Indeed.
we come to the end of episode 8 of the Real Black Talk segment. I'm curious to know your opinions on that posed Facebook question. Let us know down in the comments. Like I said, there's never no one answer as to why anyone does anything, especially when we're dealing with that, because it is such a sensitive topic. And again, like, we have to be careful how we even bring that topic up, because it's controversial. Let me just put it like that. But let us know down in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, again, you can email us at thelindsaypodcast@gmail.com. And you can also get on our Facebook page. It's called the Lindsay Sisters Podcast. And until next time, we will see y'all all later. Bye.
Hey.
Why do you say bye like that?